It's with mixed emotions that I alert you to the memorial statement for Tamar Yinnon, prepared by John Stuart Reid. Tamar was a prolific contributor to this journal, mostly in the area of quantum electrodynamics and coherent domains of water. With each volume, one could count on at least one or two papers that contained Tamar's name. We began thinking that the water journal should be maybe renamed the Yinnon Journal. My own relationship with Tamar was not only as editor-in-chief of this journal, but also as her geographically separated friend. She was there for me with uncanny sensitivity and wisdom and understanding. Tamar plugged deeply into my own personal life, offering deep and thoughtful insights into the various issues that, from time to time caused me some real consternation. I relished each and every communication with her. I hope you read John's piece. All of us at the journal feel that it provides a thoughtful synopsis of the many insights brought by Tamar's contributions. She was indeed a special person and a gifted scientist. Thank you.
Impact of Repetitive Succussive Dilutions by Tamar Yinnon. Acknowledgements. Research inspired and facilitated by HKBH. Research carried out in cooperation with Professor Vittorio Elia, Dr. Elena Napoli, Mr. Carmi A. Yinnon. Constant indispensable support and encouragement by Professor Amos M. Yinnon. Indispensable conversations with Dr. Tanya Feinstein, Dr. Suzanne S. D. Kleinberger, Rabinit Jaila F. Kadosh. Important discussions and support Mr. Paul Kleinberger, Mrs. Ruth Shiloh. Slideshow based on publications, Electric Dipole Aggregates in Very Dilute Liquids, T. A. Yinnon and C. A. Yinnon, International Journal of Modern Physics, 2011. Dynamics in Perturbed Very Dilute Aqueous Solutions, T. A. Yinnon and V. Elia, International Journal of Modern Physics, 2013. Forward. The goal of this lecture is to explain, within the context of classical limit physics, that is approximately only, the impact of repetitive succussive dilutions on aqueous solutions to people with specializations in widely differing fields. Accordingly, scientific concepts are presented schematically only. The general viewer may not immediately understand an issue. Don't worry. After an issue has been presented schematically, it will be further explained. A version of this lecture with slower English script can be requested from the author. Note: successive dilutions induce dissipative self-organization processes in aqueous solutions. Accurate descriptions of these processes require a quantum physical approach. Quantum physical explanations of structure and dynamics in succussed aqueous solutions is presented in a different video titled Very Low Molarity Repetitive Succussive Diluted Liquids. Outline of lecture. 1. Introduction. 2. Overview of past obstacles to understanding impact of repetitive succussive dilutions on liquids. 3. QED model of liquids. 4. Explanation of impact of repetitive successive dilutions on water, its solutions and other liquids. 5. Explanation of observed phenomena. 6. Summary and conclusions. 1. Introduction, presentation of the issues. Introduction. Repetitive succussive dilutions of water or alcohol in their solutions are employed to prepare homeopathic remedies. In this lecture, Experimental findings concerning the impact of repetitive succussive dilution processes on physical and chemical properties of liquids are summarized. Only results published in peer-reviewed scientific journals are presented. The white superscript numbers which appear in the slides refer to the publications. The reference list is presented at the end of this video. A model which qualitatively explains the observed properties is presented. Quantitative verification of the model will only be feasible after completion of the required computer simulations. The impact of repetitive succussed diluted liquids on biological processes is not explicitly discussed. Such a discussion requires extensive additional research. Homeopathic remedies are also prepared by techniques which, instead of succussions, force the liquid to flow very fast through a pipe. In the peer-reviewed scientific literature, to the best of my knowledge, there is no report of studies investigating the impact of these techniques on the properties of liquids. However, at the end of this lecture, it will be shown that the here proposed model also indicates that these techniques affect liquids. Repetitive succussive dilutions procedure. Mother solution tincture 1 gram. Water or alcohol 99 gram. Mix. Vigorous succussions. 1 C centesimal dilution. New bottle. 1 C, 1 gram. Water or alcohol. 99 gram. Mix. Vigorous succussions. C. Dilution and subsequent succussions are continued till required concentration, C potency, is obtained. The next slide summarizes experimental evidence demonstrating that repetitive succussive dilutions affect the physical properties of water and its solutions. Appreciating all details of the experimental evidence presented in the next slide is not necessary for understanding the remainder of this lecture. Experimental findings. Succussive dilution of water or its solutions. For concentration greater than approximately 10 to the minus 4 m, the letter m is a measure of the concentration of a solution. 10 to the minus 4 m is a very low concentration. For those concentrations, there is no significant effect. References 1 to 13. Concentration less than approximately 10 to the minus 4 m affects many properties. Electromagnetic, EM, spectra, references 1 to 5. Professor L. Ray observed that it affects thermoluminescence spectra. For example, it causes suppression of the hydrogen bond network. Professor J. L. Demangeat et al. Observed that it affects NMR spectra. Professor S. Y. Lowe et al. Observed that it affects UV transmission spectra, fluorescence spectra. Spontaneous EM emission. Reference 6. Professor L. Montagnier observed that succussive diluted DNA solutions emit EM radiation. Diluted DNA solutions which were not succussed did not emit such radiation. The EM radiation emitted by repetitive succussive diluted liquids may affect biological processes, for example physical and mental health. Danger. Accordingly, preparation and handling of such liquids requires special care. Electric conductivity. References 7 to 8. Professor V. Elia et al. Observed that it increases electrical conductivity by 100 to 1000%. Titrations. References 7 to 8. Professor V. Elia et al. Observed that it affects the following titrations types: pH metric, conductometric, calorimetric. This implies buffering by succussion-induced entity. Biological activity, references 9 to 13. Professor S. Garibaldi et al. Observed that it affects asthma in mice. Professor J. Benveniste et al. Observed that it affects in vitro white blood cell degranulation. Professor P. C. Endler et al. Observed that it affects the climbing of frogs. Other, references 4, 5, 7, 8, 45. The next slide details a central experimental finding concerning the impact of repetitive succussive dilutions on water and its solutions. Supramolecular organization. According to experiments by Professor S. Y. Lowe et al., references 4 and 5, and Professor V. Elia et al., references 7 and 8, repetitive succussive dilutions cause supramolecular organization in water and its solutions. What does supramolecular organization mean? Customary theories model a liquid as an ensemble of small particles, molecules. Reference 14. The outer form, internal structure and energetic characteristics of molecules depend on liquid type, for example water, alcohol or other. Molecules are very tiny. Typically, their size varies between 10 to the minus 10 to 10 to the minus 9 meter. Supramolecular organization means aggregation of some molecules into clusters. Two-centuries-old quest for explanation of impact of repetitive succussive dilutions. Despite numerous major efforts, hitherto the customary theories of liquids cannot explain the experimentally observed effects of repetitive succussive dilutions on water, on its solutions or on other liquids. References 7, 8 and 15. In particular, the observed succussive dilution-induced clustering of water molecules into supramolecular aggregates is an intriguing phenomenon. Water has numerous other properties which hitherto defied explanation by the customary theories, that is, the so-called anomalies of water. End Part 1. Impact of succussive dilutions.